Hi, my name is Darlene Zebel, and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I'm going to give you bite-sized little 5-minute videos on lessons I learned throughout my entrepreneurial career. If you're a small business owner, you've come to the right place. There's many lessons that I want to share with you. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about what you need to know about credit card processing, and you need to be prepared. The first thing you need to know are, what are the fees? I was quite surprised. I had owned businesses early in my career where people were still swiping credit card charges in little machines that you had paper receipts. And then going forward into the future with online processing, I was quite shocked at how many different companies are involved in processing credit cards between you and your customer. So the fees can be exorbitantly high. In one of my businesses, even though they quoted like 2%, 2.5% on the charges, every month the fees actually totaled about 6%. Why? Well, they didn't warn me about statement fees, other monthly charge fees, fees if they go through different, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover card fees. It was quite humbling to learn that I didn't budget enough in the fees. Another mistake I made, I didn't know about high-risk industries. You can just Google high-risk credit card processing industries, and you'll get a list of about 15 to 20 different industries that are considered high risk. I was selling travel, and I didn't know travel was going to be considered high risk. I spent a lot of money launching my business before I learned that my bank was not going to give me credit card processing services because it was high risk. So as a result, I had to go through third-party credit card processors. Now, when you go through third-party credit card processors, that's where they also charge higher fees. So as I said, I was paying close to 6% versus the 2 or 3.5% that I budgeted for on every sale. Another issue was, because it was considered high risk, I had to give them reserves. What does a reserve mean? That means they keep a percentage of your sales for at least 6 months. Sometimes it was a year. I had credit card providers that kept anywhere from 5%, 10%, 15%. And once my businesses kept growing, at one point they wanted to keep 100%, which is absolutely ludicrous. You can't run a business unless you get the customer's money. Now, I know through the COVID pandemic, one of the major credit card processors, announced that they were going to start charging reserves on everybody's receipts, not only those that were high risk. So another thing you need to expect is to wait for your deposits. I know they make it sound like it's 48 hours, but if they decide that they're going to keep a reserve, you may not know about it until it's too late. Now, be prepared for chargebacks. What's a chargeback? A credit card dispute that a customer files because they changed their mind or whatever reason on something that you sold them. Now, there's a lot of what's called friendly fraud. It's in the billions of dollars, especially in the United States, where people use credit card chargebacks as a way to get free products or services. So you have to plan for those too. Online and telephone sales are considered high risk, I think, no matter what you're selling. So if you're selling online, which most people are today, and a customer files a credit card dispute chargeback, your credit card processor may presume that you're at fault because it was done online and not in person, where you actually had the card swiped by the customer. Another thing that you need to watch for is to really keep track of every penny that you process through a credit card. I did have one credit card processor that, this happens in the United States, some will send you a 1099 of the sales that you processed through the year for your income taxes. And one of the credit card processors that I used padded on a couple $100,000 in receipts on my 1099, and I had to get that fixed. So be very, very cautious with whatever credit card processor you use. Another thing that I had to learn was I had to get a line of credit to cover all of the reserves. Unfortunately, as your business grows, and as my business grew to over $50,000 a month in sales, each credit card processor that I used tried to start 100% reserve because they thought my sales were getting too big. So once I was doing a couple $1 million years in sales, I had to get more than one credit card processor. This can be a real challenge for the small business owner who's trying to go from 0 to 7 figures. I know many of you are going to ask, well, what were the legal ramifications? Unfortunately, this isn't a very happy video to share with you, but you need to be prepared. I spoke with many lawyers, and there are 50-page little terms and conditions that you signed with each credit card processor. They're very, very well protected. You have very little recourse in the actions that they take. So if you're planning on growing to 7 figures, and especially if you're in a consumer-based business that's online, and on top of that, if you're considered a high-risk industry, you're going to have challenges with credit card processing. There's no way around it. So be prepared before you open the doors, or be prepared if you're ready to grow and expand your business into other markets. And those of you who have already experienced this, please send me some emails and let me know what some of the challenges are that you're having. I want to thank you all. Please subscribe to this channel. There's more lessons to come. And if I haven't answered your questions or included them in any of the current videos, please send me an email. You can get my email in the YouTube bio, and I'll be happy to include them in my future videos. Thank you. Wishing you all great success and have a wonderful day.